Of course, you know, you're 13, not even 13 years old. Blur sikit, blur banyak actually. But you can sense the history, you can sense the expectations, you can sense the emphasis on leadership. And therefore, you put all that together, you know, as we were kind of discussing earlier, if there is one word that represents what is the ethos of a Malay college boy or old boy, I think it's one of service, khidmat. As our college anthem kata, khidmat ku berikan.
The other students were giggling, how the prefect was bullied by Mehrotra. But we became to, you know, love him as a great teacher, and he was there right through my years. Even when I was in prison, he would stay in the hospital, in the compound when I was being treated for my back injury, and he would shout to the guards, the prison guards and the police, "Justice can be delayed but never denied." So they were stunned why this old Indian man took such a passion and courage to express these things. But that's a spectacular Malay college tradition.
Kita panjat pagar, we walk to the station, the train station, had our late supper, and suddenly, people shouted, Karim datang, kan? So we just ran. So we call it larian merdeka. I still remember as the of course as the champion, collab punya cross country champion, I was the first to arrive lah dekat baby.
Apparently, the keepers of the records of my batch highlighted that I think my detention class count was pretty high. Apparently, second highest to a guy called Nyamok. Our drummer, who incidentally went on to do Dusun tour to work with problem kids, you know, so figure that out.
It is a match between Malay College and Star, played at the Star ground. I was playing left wing, so normally I'm the last person and the sprint for the corner flag lah. And this is the dying moments of the game. Yeah? And the ball came to me, I ran to the line and touched the ball across the line. But it turned out it was the wrong line. That's why it is something that haunted me.
And I was getting to this fight. How could a boy get into a fight, you know? So I wrote a letter to the headmaster. This was Saturday. I said, honor demands that I take on these boys. But as that boy, of course, is not on, so I'm resigning now. Put my badge in the envelope, push it under his door. Hey, Cik Hanif, HM nak jumpa. So I went to HM's room. He didn't even look at me. Ini orang putih, you know? Howell, very strict man. Didn't even look at me. He just pointed to a head boy's badge at the edge of his table. Hanif, pick it up, he said. So I picked it up. Found again. No word said. No question asked. What happened? What did you do? You know, nothing. So I was head boy again.
I played in the under-18 team in 1985, which won the last under-18 Perak Championship for MCKK. I don't think MCKK ever won the Perak Championship again after that.
We wanted to, you know, express our relief after a long month of examination, SPM, and we climbed up the rooftop of the big school and, you know, did whatever we shouldn't be doing.
First started kat sana, the first 2 years of kat sana, we are based in MCOBA, getting really cheap rent. I owe a lot of our growth to MCOB members. For example, we have Nick Aziz Kayub of Altel. He helped us to come up with cheap connectivity SIM cards to integrate with our customers' cars and so on. And I also owe to Saudara Ali Karim of JUBM. He gave us an initial startup fund when we were almost bankrupt, I think in 2014, 2 years after running. So that helped us a lot, and we managed to pay him back.
And then myself, Hanafia and Raslan talked together whether we should set up a Malay firm. This is on the prompt of Tun Razak. Talk to us and say, no, there are no Bumiputra or local accounting firm in the country. That was 1959. I said, why don't you three set up a firm? So Hanafia, Raslan and me, we set up this firm. He said, if you fail, I'll pick you up again and put you back where you were. Second year, he gave us big clients like Felda to be our auditor, RIDA, National Electricity Board, LLN at that time, a big company. So from there we said, thank you, Tun. We don't have to come back.
The oil price really crashed. It was as high as 130 back in 2012, 2013, and then when I assumed this position, it came as low as 26. So we really had a different environment to operate in, and we really had to have a paradigm shift on how this business will have to be run. I think that was the most challenging period in this current role.
When we are in MCKK, there are certain standards that everyone has to live up to, and that is why in everything we do, especially in our career, we want to do better things, want to do great things, and that is something, the value that MCKK has instilled in us, to make sure that wherever industry that you are in, you have to add value and make sure that the industry is better when you left. And my passion towards service to others is another thing that really something that MCKK has told me to do.
One of the MCOBA icons that I looked up on when you asked, I would say one is Tun Hanif. He took on a very critical role at a very young age. Yeah. So to be able to do that is something, something to be proud of. Yeah. And then to remain as a statesman in a way, yeah, till this day, is incredible.
In the past, MCOBA is known for its very strong affiliation to the politics of Malaysia. But now, to be impactful, I think there need to be a strong representation of MCOBs that is successful, that are able to train the next generation of MCOBs.
We need to continue to be relevant, and I think what I mentioned about technology, adapting technology, but we need to also look at how we can play a bigger role in the society.
Which ties back to what the collect anthem is all about. Keluar membimbing negara. There's a lot of things in that lyric. There's a lot of meanings that people should understand from that lyrics. It's almost an amanah actually.
Wish for Malaysia is for Malaysia to progress, but the Malays must progress together with Malaysia, and the only way to do that, I think, is, like I said, is to leave our superiority and inferiority complexes behind, work as hard as everybody else, do as well as everybody else, as anybody else. Don't take anything for granted. Yeah? Don't keep saying, this is my entitlement because I'm Malay. Yeah. Make people respect you because you've done well, and you deserve to be respected. Yeah. And people will respect you.
I believe I would like to really to see the whole ecosystem of Malaysian sports, not only in KBS, but also at the school level, tertiary level, and the high performance level, locked together. I mean, it should be like a streamline of system, development system, that will contribute and also unearth new talents for Malaysia.
I would dream that I can be of help to maintain a dignified country like Malaysia, where we achieve success in all aspects of our endeavor.
Because there's so many fronts, in terms of the economics, in terms of for us, in terms of our resources, in terms of the talents that we have in the nation. It's only for us to realize this potential in a very orderly and so that we can realize the maximum value.
We are in competition with other countries for FDI, for example. We are in competition with other countries for resources. We're in competition for lots of things. So my wish is that we reflect on what made us successful over the last 62 years and think about that for the next 62. And really the battle is outside, not within us. So we've got to figure out a way of being able to compete better.
In all the work that we do now, I do now, what drives me to do this work is really being able to play a role, no matter how small it may be, in nation building. And that's always been the bits that drive many of our people here in this organisation, and there are many MCOBs here actually.
Okay, Malaysia baru, but I actually prefer baru Malaysia. Malaysia baru could mean, I'm not saying it would mean, I'm saying it could mean something completely new. Malaysia baru kan. That means apa benda canvas semua tukar. Macam-macam. It could well be for the better, or it could be for the worse actually. It could be very risky actually. Maybe change is good, but I prefer baru Malaysia, I think like baru betul. We kind of lost our way. As pepatah Melayu kata, kalau you sesat, you baliklah kat pangkai jalan. Cari mana pangkai jalan. So to me, baru Malaysia with an exclamation mark is what I would strive for, in the belief that the original Malaysia was not that much wrong.
My family now grow up in the atmosphere not like when I grew up. There was no racial discrimination. There was no religious discrimination. People are quite open then. Now this is what I wish I come back to. I wish we go back to where everybody get together without any discrimination on racial basis or on religious basis and become just truly Malaysian.